Hey guys, welcome to the Austin and Arthur Show.
You're listening to the Austin and Arthur channel, Unfiltered.
Yeah, we're basically just two American guys living in Japan talking about our experience, and we thought it'd be helpful for you guys.
So if you want to listen to us raw, you can listen to our AA channel.
Yeah, the Austin and Arthur Show channel. We have all of our videos with no subtitles. It might be a little bit difficult for you to check your listening or understand. So if you want to check how much you understand, we put the same conversation with English and Japanese subtitles on my main channel, Uconnect, where we focus on actually learning real English. So I think the link will be in the description below. You can check the video on the Uconnect channel for that.
And if not, keep listening to us raw here.
Gross.
Raw is such a weird word.
It is. It is. All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Oh, this is nice.
It is.
Austin understands why I said that. I don't think anyone else will understand. But today,
it's just like, man, we're
it's
on
very
repeat,
fresh. I know.
repeat times.
I know. It's very fresh. It's very fresh.
Anyways, all right.
So today we're going to be talking about something unrelated to Japan and unrelated to America, pretty much. We're going to talk about people and things that influenced us. I think, yeah, people and things that influenced you. Yeah. So, I mean, I think like the biggest thing we could talk about is our parents, because I mean that's obvious. But like, other than your parents, like, what are some influences that shaped you who you are now?
Well, I mean, this is honestly pretty similar to Japan, or at least the topic of Japan. But when I first came here,
yeah,
when I was 16, the high school that I was going to had a jet in it, and it was this guy from Australia, and I had a lot of downtime with him. It's pretty crazy, like knowing his schedule as a jet. You know, now that I'm an adult,
yeah,
especially me having gone through the jet program, because I did not have a lot of downtime when I was a jet. Like it was just full class all the time.
Yeah,
and but we would sit up in kind of like this loft area in the school.
There's a loft area?
Yeah, so this school is like, it was kind of like a local sports school.
Okay.
In Kansai. And like it was really poor.
Okay.
And they had like, I wouldn't even call these rooms. They were like sheds that the club members would hang out in.
Like were the sheds like detached outside or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm literally saying sheds.
Okay.
Like it was made out of sheet metal.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
yeah. And so, but anyways, like in the rugby club, there was like a weightlifting area. There was it was a bigger shed with like weights in it. And above, like there was kind of like a ladder area you could climb in. And there was like kind of this like little hangout loft area.
That seems like it'd be super hot in the summer.
It was.
Okay.
It was really hot, especially because the entire building, or you can't even call it a building, but the structure was made out of metal.
Yeah,
and
right.
that got hot.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, like we would hang out there because he just had nothing to do, and that was like, he was part of the rugby club, and so kind of like that was his like spot where he liked to go. And so we would talk for a while, and I would just kind of get to know this guy. I don't even remember his name. And but we would talk, and I would just kind of like ask him questions about what his life is like, you know, living in Japan. And, you know, he would just give me like really mundane, like kind of daily life stuff. And I fell in love with the idea of living here because of like the stories that I would hear from him. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, like I've got my little apartment. He would like show me pictures of his apartment. Yeah. And it'd be like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like it's like you ever been to like a countryside apartment?
In Japan?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So they look very different than the apartments that are in the city, right? Because like, I mean, you've been inside an apartment in the city here in Tokyo. So the countryside apartments are often like huge.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense. Like I live in a 3 LDK down in Shonan, and the same price that I pay is like
Mhm.
for like a one room
Yeah.
in Tokyo.
Right.
But especially you go into the deep countryside, you start getting like 3 or 4 LDKs,
Yeah,
like
right.
basically a house.
Yeah.
Right?
It's super
And so
cheap.
this guy lived in a 4 LDK, but
Yeah.
the building was like 70 years old.
Okay.
It was like wood, like
Yeah.
he didn't have doors to
Yeah.
like the different rooms. He just had like that
The
sheet.
shoji.
Yeah. And so, but he would kind of describe like what his like weekend routines like. I don't really have much friends, so I just kind of hang out with like local people. And I'm like, well, can you speak Japanese? Is like, well, not really, but like I kind of am forced to. So it's like it's really improving my Japanese really quickly.
Yeah.
And so like just everything I would hear about his life, I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah. Right.
Like I want to do this. I want to get in the jet program, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I gotta say, so for me too, I mean, it's kind of on the same strain as what you just said now, but
Yeah.
I think probably the person who's had the single most impact on my life outside of my parents
Yeah.
is my Japanese tutor,
Hmm.
Kie from Osaka,
Yeah.
because not only did she teach me Japanese, but around the time when she was finishing, because her parents sent her to a 4-year university in the States.
Yeah.
That's why I was with her for like 3 years.
Okay.
And then she said, hey, why don't you come do a homestay at my house for a month?
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first time going over to Japan in Osaka in 2007. And that was, it was in this little like bed town outside of Osaka.
Okay.
And that was when I really kind of got a feel for regular Japanese life.
Yeah.
And, because before that, I'd known stuff from like anime and manga or from traditional Edo style stuff. But when I saw how it actually was, but the thing that really hit me was not just how things looked, but the mannerisms of people.
Mm.
And I realized how attentive everyone was. Because, me, I was 15, 16 at the time, but I remember. So I actually stayed in Kie's room, and she stayed in some other room, I think.
Okay.
She said so, but her bed was a tatami bed. So it was like a tatami thing with like a futon on top, and the futon was really thin.
Yeah.
And I was there for a month, and for the first 2 weeks, I didn't sleep well because it was so thin, and I wasn't getting used to it. And then finally, I said to the mom after 2 weeks, I'm like, you know what? This is great. I feel so well rested. I finally got used to the futon. It took a little while getting used to it, but now I'm sleeping so great. It's so comfortable. It's like, oh, that's great, Arthur. And then when I go to bed that night, there's a second futon on the thing.
You complained.
No. I didn't even mean to complain because actually what happened? No, because then what happened? What happened was I actually got a little frustrated because it ruined my sleep schedule again because I had to get used to the 2 futons again. But like
that's so funny.
It was little things like that, and it made me think like, wow, this is Japan. And also like I went to a local elementary school there, and that was the first time someone like poked me to see if like I was a human and not an alien or something. Kids were coming up to me.
Man, I feel like we're kind of past that era in Japan where people get like really weirded out by white people.
Yeah.
Because I had a similar experience. Like when I first entered my high school, there was literally a swarm of students, and this was when I was an exchange student, not as an adult. There was literally a swarm of students.
In your high school? Was it high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There was literally a swarm of students following him around everywhere.
Yeah.
And like people would come up and be like, "I want your picture."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so, this was back before smartphones existed. Yeah. So I want your picture means we're going to go to Purikura.
Oh, really?
And take pictures together. And that was just like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm showing my age right here. But it's okay. Like, we don't really have a lot of young people who watch our show anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like I don't know, man. It was like, I'll tell you the things that like made me fall in love with Japan, I feel like I have such a hard time relating with people about.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like you always say, like, what are the things that drive people to come to Japan? It's like, anime, manga, like samurai to an extent, ninja, like that kind of culture, cars, like that. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you, my favorite, it's not really a memory, but my favorite experience that I have in Japan is a really common one, and that's waking up on like a late summer morning with like cicada in the outside making that sound, and then a crow just bah, 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 right, because the crows sound really different in the US, right? They're much more guttural, and the crows here kind of, I don't know, it's
different.
It's really different, but like waking up and it's just that slow wake up where it's like, oh, it's kind of humid, but it's not too bad yet because it's still morning, and then hearing cicada, like that feeling is like the happiest moment I will ever experience.
Yeah.
You know? And that is like 90% of the reason why I came to Japan.
Yeah.
Is that feeling.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's weird.
Hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're going to love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur friends, you're going to really improve your English listening, and I mean a lot. As a friend of ours, you will get each episode ahead of time with no ads, so you can watch before anyone else. But not just that, you can ask us questions or leave comments, and we will make a special video each week answering questions and responding to comments. These videos will not be released publicly. They are for friends, members only. It's a great way for you to ask our opinions directly and for us to respond directly. You'll also get listening practice questions and answers that you can check. Answers are for friends, members only. Oh, and anaume mondai mo desu ne. So you can check your listening. But not just that, for each episode, you'll get a list of native phrases we said from the video, along with practice sentences and pronunciation practice to help your speaking as well. You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely not.
This is a great way to support our show, but also get closer to us and improve your English as well. For more information, click on the link in the description box, the gayorang, or go to our website, austinandarthur.com. Because it's kind of like you're connected to nature in a different way. It's like you're super connected to nature, you know?
Yeah.
But the way that people interact with nature is different.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something we could talk about on this channel. How like all the kids go bug hunting, bug catching with the nets.
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean, I used to do that when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never did that. But what about?
I lived next to a forest. That's
okay,
probably
that's
why.
probably why.
Yeah.
But like, well, I don't live next to a forest. We live next to a park.
Dude, I used to catch snakes all the time. It used to piss my mom off. I'd bring home the snake. Mom, look, the snake. Oh, don't bring that in the house.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And like another thing that my kids love doing, my wife really likes this too, is like raising stag beetles.
mm-hmm.
You know, like I remember when I told my mom, like, hey, look, we have stag beetles in the house. She's like, oh, why? You know? Yeah. That's a whole different thing we could talk about. But so what about, so of course, you know, related to Japan stuff, but what about people, and not necessarily people, but things too, that have influenced who you are today that maybe don't necessarily tie into Japan, but tie into who you are now?
You know, I mean, the big one for me is like joining the Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, that was such a strong positive and negative force in my life. You know, like going through like military life.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that I'm not a better person because of it. I am 100% full in support of military. I think people are like, you know, I get students that'll come up to me and it's like, I'm thinking of joining like the Japanese army. And I'm just like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's a lot of there, you know, it really saddens me. I just read an article. I read a lot of stuff here in Japan. I don't know. I feel like I don't get credit for that, but I try. I really try to keep up with stuff going on in Japan.
You're probably more informed about the political situation in Japan than a lot of our viewers and just the people in general, I think.
So I don't remember which politician just recently said this, and I feel bad about it because I really feel like I wanted to call this person out, just give him the finger. But he made a comment that's like, yeah, only poor people join the military here in Japan.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And, you know, I think there is this like stigma here with the Japanese military. That you only join the military if you've just got nothing going on in your life, or you're too stupid, or you're a loser, or like you're just a degenerate person, right?
Yeah.
There's something flawed where you can't exist in normal society and become a salaryman or something. So you have to join the military because that's your only choice. And that really frustrates me because, you know, as an American, we come from a country that celebrates the military.
Yeah.
If you join the military, it's like, dude, you are put like at the top of society. People will like, I hate to use this term, but it's kind of true. People will worship you
after you go through it.
Yes. Yeah. People will worship you. And you know, we have so many holidays supporting veterans in the US. And
it even goes to the point where some like crazy guys, that don't have any military experience, they'll dress in military uniform so that people will compliment them.
Yeah. You know, and it's like you have all of this like appreciation for people that went through the military. And the idea is like you're sacrificing yourself. Yeah. You're making the sacrifice to support your nation. And I think, you know, I don't want to get into like the politics and history of like the military in Japan, but I think a person that volunteers for a service like the military, where it's a potentially dangerous situation, in which the military always is, I think that's a very commendable thing. Yeah. And it really saddens me that there's a stigma in the military here.
Yeah, I mean, so in the States, you definitely do see like a veneration or respect for military people. When you walk them through, everyone says thank you for your service and stuff. But on the other hand, you do have people, especially because if you join the military, you can get college for free. Yeah. And so you do. So I feel like there's a few kind of pockets of types of people. Like you have military families that are very like honorable, but then there is a group of people that are like, oh, I don't have enough money for college, so I joined ROTC.
And honestly, I think that there's no problem with that.
Yeah.
I think a person who, you know, does 20 years in the military should be respected and venerated. But I also think a person who just joins for the benefits, there's nothing bad about that. Yeah. You know, they're still doing something that most people wouldn't do.
Right.
You know, and they're putting something above themselves.
Yeah,
right. And I think that you know, this doesn't have to be a big military appreciation episode, but it really influenced my life. Like it gave my life direction where I didn't really know what to do. You know, like I graduated high school and I was kind of like listing for a while because I knew that.
What does listing mean?
Listing, like just kind of drifting.
Okay.
And I had by the time I graduated high school, I'd been to Japan twice, and I knew that at some point in my life I wanted to live in Japan.
Yeah.
Because I loved living there, and I was really conflicted because my whole life I grew up wanting to be a pilot. Right.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Top Gun. I thought, you know, Tom Cruise was the coolest guy. I thought being a fighter pilot was super cool. You know, I was even open to the idea of being like an airline pilot. I think airline pilots are super cool.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I went to an aviation themed high school.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I've talked about that a whole lot on my channel, but or on our channel, but like the high school I went to was like specialized into making people pilots.
Yeah.
Right. And I spent so much of my like young childhood life trying to do this dream, and then I found out I was colorblind.
Yeah.
And that kind of like just crashed everything. And so you know, when I graduated high school, I didn't know what to do with my life, and I was really just kind of lost. And I entered community college, and I ended up dropping out of community college after my second semester.
Okay.
I failed out of college.
Okay.
Right when I got out of high school, because like I just had no drive, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Right.
You know, and I remember like, you know, my friend was joining the military at the time, so I decided to join with him, and you know, my family was furious about it because, you know, my dad grew up in the Vietnam era.
Yeah.
But you know, going through everything, and I've got a lot of scars from the military, both physical and mental, but like, man, one of the things is when I got out of the military, I knew I had like a laser focus on exactly what I wanted in my life.
Yeah.
And I went to college, I graduated, I moved to Japan, I became a teacher, and I got married.
What do you think it was about the military that got you that laser focus?
Two things. I think the first thing is you realize really how easy life is. Like, it can be so much worse than how things are. I mean, you know, the comforts that people have in their daily lives, like, I'll tell you one of the things. It's like, I know a lot of people like go in and out and suffer through depression. It's like, I get it. Like, I go through that too. I've got my own mental problems, but like, man, it's so, you know, I'll like talk to a student at school and they'll talk to me about how much pressure they feel and how much stress they feel in their life. Or, you know, I'll talk to like a friend that's like, you know, around the same age as us, and they'll tell me about like, you know, how hard it is to like do X, Y, Z, and you know, like, and I'm just thinking in my mind, like,
you don't know shit.
Dude, this is a fucking cakewalk, man. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying you can't be stressed in your life. Like, of course not. But like, it could be so much worse.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you go for an extended period without like showering or walking on carpet. You know, I'm not even talking about getting like shot at or something. Just like experiencing life without showering for a long time, like weeks or a month. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing. It's like you really, once you experience that, you really have an appreciation for like the really small things in life. So I think it did that. And then the other thing it did was go, hey, you know what? Like, I know two people that when I was in the military that died from non-combat related things. Okay. This had nothing to do with Afghanistan or Iraq. This was in the barracks doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Or out in town doing dumb stuff. And one guy was wrestling in a barracks room, and he had a pocket knife in his pants, and he was wrestling with like a roommate or whatever. And I don't know how this happened, but the pocket knife got like opened and it punctured the other guy's leg when they were wrestling, and he bled out.
Man.
So that happens. And then the other thing was a guy was getting off of like the God, dude, oh my God, I've been out of the US for a long time. I can't remember the off-ramp on a freeway. He was getting off the off-ramp on a freeway, and there was a drunk driver driving like on the wrong side of the road and just full on head-on collisioned him and killed him.
Yeah.
You know, and like it really put into perspective of like, because I think a lot of people in the military can go, okay, well, you know, I'm going into a combat zone, so like I'm prepared for life-ending things happening. Yeah. But like this really put into perspective for me that like, dude, it doesn't matter if you're in a combat zone. It doesn't matter where you are. You could just die.
Yeah, at any time.
At any time for whatever reason, whether it's in your control or not in control. And it's like, for me, I just thought about that, and I'm like, well, okay, well, what do I want in my life right now? Well, I want to graduate high school, or I want to graduate college, because no one in my family's done it, and I want to feel like I've accomplished something. I want to move to Japan because that's been my life dream. I want to teach in Japan because that's my life dream, and I want a family. And so, like, I just set out this plan,
and it worked,
and it just worked.
Yeah, you're here now.
Yeah.
No, man, that's really great to hear, man. I haven't like heard it in so much detail before.
Yeah.
But that's good. I can't follow up with that anymore.
This is a competition, man.
This is the no. This is the episode about how Austin was inspired to live his full
No,
life.
but it is weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this story of mine is not something I have ever heard from anybody else that I've ever talked to. Every other person that I've talked to in my life, just I don't want this to have a negative connotation, but like the way that they tell me their life story, it's like I just kind of fell into who I am now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, actually, so of course I didn't go to the military. I didn't have the experiences that you did, but I kind of feel a similar way that you do now because I had kind of a weird experience. So I'll talk about this a little bit. So you know, I was born in Germany.
Yeah.
And when I came to the States, I was like the German kid. I was the weird kid.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really kind of helped me a lot was in high school, every spring we would go on a volunteer trip to Romania with this like NPO that my dad's friend started in Germany. It was like a Christian youth kind of thing. And we would go to this gypsy village and we'd help like this gypsy village stuff. But the thing for me was I would go with other kids from international schools in Germany and Belgium and Italy. And I felt like I was actually with people that understood me because we were all like from different countries. We didn't fit in to the country we were in. And I felt like I kind of had my tribe. And that really became like a big part of my identity. And the last year I went, like, okay, so during the time we were there, it wasn't just like a charity thing where they tried to like give money or help build stuff for like the gypsy village. They wanted to train like the mothers who are mostly unemployable because of discrimination and stuff. Teach them a skill of like crocheting, teach them how to crochet hats and stuff like that.
Okay.
And the first year when they did that, the hats were really crappy, but they were kind of cute.
Yeah.
And so we'd always buy some as kind of like, oh, this is so nice. We're just going to buy it for them, support them. But then my last year when I was there, they were pretty good. And they were also selling them in Western Europe. And I remember going to the guy, his name was Andreas, this really nice Swedish dude. And I remember going to Andreas and saying, hey, Andreas, these hats are really nice. Do you sell them in America? I'd love to have my friends buy them because they were pretty cool looking. And he said, nah, man, we don't sell them in the States. And I was like, why? He's like, no one said they wanted to. And I don't know what it was, but it was in that second, like a switch flipped in my mind. And I just said to him in that moment, I said, okay, I'll sell them for you. And he was like, oh, okay, thanks, Arthur. I appreciate that. Like thinking about, like, I wasn't really serious about it.
Yeah.
And I remember I came back to Seattle because I was in college. It was the end of my freshman year around this time when this happened.
Yeah.
And I remember I just had this vision of like, okay, these hats are helping these people. If I can sell them, they can earn more money. And this is really like a way to self-reliance almost, because this is how people can earn money. So I was like, okay, I'm going to sell these hats. How? I had no idea. I had no experience. I barely had a part-time job when I was in high school. I didn't know how work worked, you know? And so I remember I thought, okay, well, I need to import these from Romania. So I probably should talk to like the border patrol, like the Customs and Border Bureau, whatever. So I called them in Seattle. And I remember saying, hey, I want to import some hats from Romania. Like, what's the process for that? Like, well, you need to register your company with us and you need to fill out this paperwork. I was like, okay, how do I start a company? She's like, that's not my job. Figure it out on yourself. She probably thought I was a prank call or something.
Yeah.
But then I talked to some people. I was like, okay, so, because I didn't know how any of this worked. So I talked to this guy. I talked to my friends. I said, hey, I want to start a company in Seattle. Anybody experience starting a company in Seattle? Let me talk to you. And that's when I learned about what an LLC is and like the process of doing paperwork and why it makes sense to do it in Seattle and not in Massachusetts, because we're known as Taxachusetts also.
Yeah.
And like I kind of went through it and I kind of set everything up, and then I was like, okay, let me sell them. So then I talked to Andreas. I was like, hey, Andreas, I'd like to buy a hat. I like to buy hats. He's like, great. How many? I said, 10. It's like, dude, it's not going to fly. It's going to be so expensive just to send that. The shipping's more expensive than the hats. I was like, okay, how many do I need to get to have it worthwhile? And he said, 50. I was like, that's most of my savings, but okay, I'm going to do it. So I got it. And I remember because back then I was living in Haggett Hall in the dormitories in Seattle. And I remember going down to the front desk because this big box from Romania came, and the people were looking at me like, why do you have this, Arthur? And I was like, no, I'm going to sell these hats. And I remember bringing them to my dorm room and just putting the box there, opening it full of hats. And I was like, okay, now what? How do I sell these hats? And it was just kind of step by step. And I ended up selling about 800, 1,000 of them and stuff, you know?
Oh, okay.
And and it was great. But it was that moment in my life when I realized I think Steve Jobs really said it well when he said that the world was made by people no smarter than you, and all the rules that you follow were made by those people, and you can change them. It's not like something that was decided by God. Like you can push something and then there's a reaction to it. Life is almost like a game like that, and you can change the rules. And that's when I realized, like, if I put my mind to something and I really want to do it, I can get it done.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, okay, I want to come to Japan. I'm going to start my own business here. And it's funny because a lot of people, you know, they talk to me and they say, wow, Arthur, it's amazing. You came to Japan and you started your own business as a foreigner here in a foreign land with a different culture. That's so amazing. And I was thinking in my mind, like, there was no other way. I'm not going to work at a company here because I'll be like the only employee at the company that gets fired. I know that because I just won't listen to the rules, you know? And it was really like at the time when I realized, you know, the best thing to do is to decide your goal and then don't worry about what other people think, but you just need to follow that goal.
Yeah.
You know? So that's now where I'm kind of like when you were talking about the end with people saying like, man, like I just kind of fell into this, you know? Like I can't understand that either because like I only know how to follow my path.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you were saying you can't one up me, man.
No, but listen, the military is different from this one.
No, but I think both are really good examples of like kind of inspirational stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Like my whole thing is I really okay. So like our whole conversation right now, we're just talking about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have you talked to that if you ask them about their life story, those be like, oh yeah, well I graduated high school and then I went to college and then I joined a business and now I got married and now I work every day.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I think these two like examples of storytelling just show that like anybody can have an inspirational story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's anything particularly special about you or me, right? I think we are two very normal people that if you I mean, it's like we did something that's out of the norm, like we moved to a different country. That's a big deal. I'm not going to pretend that's not. But like you could easily find somebody who lives here in Japan and ask them about their life story and it's like you can tell it in a boring way or you can tell it in an inspirational way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
but I feel also there's like a lot of pressure here. And also society works in a way that gets people to follow the same path. Like I remember like, I mean, school feels like school, obviously. College feels like school, obviously. But work feels like school too. You have your like nyushashiki and like you have like the whole system. And, you know, but I think a lot of people, they'll see us and say, well, you went to the military or Arthur, you went to a foreign country, you know, there's, you know, you went to Romania. I don't have an experience like that. But I think the biggest thing for you and me is that we woke up to the realization that our life is in our hands. And from that realization, we decided what we wanted and we went with it. And you don't need to go to the military to experience that.
No.
You know?
No, I mean, it's something as simple as like, man, this might end up being like a dark subject, but I want to bring it up because I find it really frustrating when I hear people about this. I'm going to condense it down to a simple topic because I don't want it to get too dark. But I've I've heard many times in my life of someone being like, I'm in a really horrible relationship with somebody, and they just complain about this person over and over, like, oh, my wife does XYZ, or my husband does XYZ, or my boyfriend, my girlfriend. You know, they'll just endlessly complain about this person, and I just it never makes sense to me, because for me, I can't exist like that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a situation where I'm in a relationship with somebody and I can't stand being around them for whatever reason, or we're always fighting, I'll just cut it off.
Yeah.
I'm that way with friends. It's like, hey, you know, I've told people in my life, you know what? I'm not doing this to offend you, but I'm kind of done being friends with you.
Yeah.
Right. And for whatever reason, it's like, look, you know, you're doing something that I don't personally agree with in my life, or, you know, I don't really find any benefit to us being friends. 'Cause a lot of people think that you have to be friends with people forever.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, dude, if there's no benefit, or if somebody's actually taking away like good things in your life, cut them off.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's never been something I've had a problem with. But I've talked to a lot of people here, and they just kind of get like complacent with stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, my relationship, you know, my husband or my wife are just so terrible. It's like, okay, we'll just divorce them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? You know? And it's like, this is not just about, like relationships with people, but it's like job attachments.
Yeah, the company too. Yeah.
Dude, how many people in Japan have you met that complain about their job?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's funny because every time I say it, I'm like, well, it sounds like now's the time to change your job.
Yes,
and they're like,
but I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, right.
I got to pay the bills. And it's like, yeah.
So get another job that pays the bills.
Yes, go find a new job that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
It's that easy. It's so crazy, man. It blows my mind. You know, I don't really experience this at my new school, but like in the past, like I would talk with people and, you know, my coworker, he'd be like super tired and complaining. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? I don't know, man. I was here until 10 p.m. last night. I'm like, why were you here until 10 p.m.?
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, you know, so-and-so teacher kind of wants me to get this done. I'm like, dude, there is no amount of motivation other than a big pile of money that would get me to stay until 10 p.m.
Yeah, right.
You could threaten my life and I would be like, nah, I'm going to go take a nap. I'm good.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it is so crazy to me. Why do you know, and this is not something that's entirely unique to Japan, but you see it a lot here.
Yeah, you see it a lot here.
You know, and I just, you know, at the end of the day, there's no one other than myself that motivates me.
Right.
You know, the whole topic of this episode is, you know, kind of trying to find like outside motivators. But it's like, at the end of the day, I'm the one who makes decisions in my life. You're the one who makes decisions in your life. And those people should be the number one motivators for you.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's about how much can you realize that? And, you know, it's tough because like I walk through life and I think, man, this person is settling. And you don't have to, you know? But yeah, man, we could talk about this forever, I think. Yeah, I'm glad we see eye to eye on this. But okay, well, this is good. So if you guys have any questions about the stories, let us know.
Definitely.
And if you guys have a similar story, if you are one of the few people who have broken free of the system and are marching to the beat of your own drum, please let us know. We'd love to connect with you. So cool. All right, I'll see you next time, man.
See ya.